What up, brother? Alrighty, guys. Hey, welcome tonight to Loon Live. This is probably the second email you've seen with these bugs. If you guys, Gramercy, what up, brother? If you get the emails. So, squirrels ate the internet last time, and now the squirrels have new cables to eat through. So that's going to work out great. Tonight we're talking about a few different flies and theories, although I kind of think both the flies work into the same theory. Steelhead mics and flies, what up, man? How's it going? So cool. Volume off over there. So I'm going to butcher the name of this fly. I think it's called a Perdigon, something rather, nymph, but it's a competition style nymph, you guys can see. Just a little guy, does things, and gets down. And so while we're tying these, I'm going to explain to you my philosophy. Somehow I lost my balanced bugger creature, which isn't too surprising for me. Carl, hello. Bernard from the Netherlands, hello. So what we'll do is we'll kind of jump up close and go through what I'm doing with these flies. I think I'm going to start with the woolly bugger. Tie you a sweet fly and send you a car package. I think that would be expensive to ship, brother. I think it would be a pretty expensive shipment there. Car package. So what I'll do is I'm going to zoom in over here on since we have multiple cameras going. I'll zoom in. Sorry, guys. Straighten that guy out just a hair. Got to straighten out my game here. Alrighty. So, Zoomtown flies, what's up? What's up? Buggers are neat. Yes, they are. House Tonish, hello, man. How's it going? So I'm just going to kind of creep this down towards the bottom of my thing here, aka my vice base, and got to clean off my new toy. Got one of the cool little magnetic fly bases. It's kind of snazzy. Oops, if I drop the fly on there it actually works. So I can hold all my stuff on here, because I'm always losing everything. It's a good way for me not to lose things. So first up tonight, what I'll do is, this is like a 2 or 3x long like streamer hook. The next thing I'm going to use, and I've been kind of beaten on these things quite a bit, so this might seem kind of interesting, is these are the little Flyman fishing. Let's see if I can show you guys over here. They're the articulation shanks. So these are for like making a wiggle tail nymph. I haven't broken one yet, so I'm going with they're kind of strong. And this is my trick that I do. I put them in there in the back of my scissors, and I'm going to bend this into a 90. So that's kind of my trick there. Frank, what's up, man? And we're going to go ahead and start the fly going. Yeah, this is the only way a lot of people get to see me these days, is tying flies, Mike. I'm kind of all over the map. Just actually, it blew my mind. I left LA County at about noon on Monday, right before it turned into Mordor, and quickly regretted it because I had friends and stuff down there that probably could have used some help, but they were all good. So that's positive. Thanks, SS Lockett. Not too much is going on. Tying flies this evening, as usual. The basement hangs. Heck yeah, man. I think every house I had in Mount Shasta had a basement. We had a shooting gallery in one, I remember. So what I've done is I've taken this little Flyman shank, and it's kind of exaggerated. I'd go a little shorter than that. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at some comments. I'm tying up a balanced bugger pattern and a Perdigon nymph for competition fishing. When you like find yourself peacefully on a stream and you just want to get really competitive with like the mountain lions or the bears, that's what it's for. Just an effective fly. Quick ties. What color bead is that? It's a great question. This is an orange gritty bead from Hairline. And I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but see there is a whole slew of really cool colored gritty beads. Bend another one. Gotcha. So all I do is just take them, and when I line them up, I try to use the plane between where the two scissors connect, and then I just kind of simply push them over. And this is actually a far more better representation of how much I'm going to bend it over. The southpaw. How many beads in a slew? I don't know. I never count, man. I just order lots of beads. I know that. So it's interesting. Anytime I'm using the front-facing camera and being able to observe people's comments. Actually, I think the most competitive. Yes, Yetis are the most competitive of woodland creatures. I agree. So anytime I use the front-facing camera, it makes me look southpaw, or it films in a 180-degree feature, which is very strange. So this is some pretty cool material. This is a fine black barred marabou, if you guys can see that. This happens to be a wood duck tan. Comes in olives and all sorts of different colors. So what I do is I kind of just will primp this as much as possible. And my favorite tool for cleaning this up or making it a little bit more lively is my dubbing brush, which is where we're going to get our dubbing from for said pattern tonight. So this thing's pretty versatile if you don't have one. It's a good toy and weapon to have in the arsenal. What's up, Daniel? Trimming the tree rather than trimming a fly. I understand that. My wife has me do all sorts of decorative items around the old homestead. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to take some of this and I'm going to put in a tail. Alright, so I'm going to throw this out there. I'm not going to do it on this fly, but if you feel like you need more weight on this, honey badger's a close second, right? If you feel like you need more weight, these Insta-Jig beads, they sit kind of off. Watch, I'll show you. If I just wrap this forward, we can squeeze one in here. It's kind of a cool technique. You can add more weight. And the way that I'm fishing these flies is suspended. So this kind of like a competition nymph, if you're imagining this being like your bottom fly or your point fly, then this is a great way to stay in like hyper good contact on a lake. So basically, before you put your shank in, you got to slide these guys up and in, and then they'll sit down in there. I don't want to add that much weight to this one though, because I have plans for those Insta-Jig beads outside of this pattern, and I only have half a slew, which is that many. Another cool thing with this fly is I'll actually tie my rubber legs this way for like high stick nymphing if I know we want to use. Any chance I can zoom? I don't know if I can zoom. Oh wow. Mind, whoop, hold on. Mind blown. I didn't know I could zoom, brother. Oh, dude. Game changer. I didn't know I could zoom on front facing. I thought that was a like a rear facing camera trick. So there we go. Look at that. And I'm just going to lash all of this in here just for a little bit. Yeah, that was a woohoo on my end too. So another cool trick if you don't have Insta-Jig beads is you can also take, you know, not lead. I'm using a lead-free. Not everybody is unleaded, so that's just the way life is. I'll recommend the less lead we put in our water, the less we probably drink at some point in time. So I'm going to take two 1-inch sections, and I'll show you guys what I do with wire to help balance and peel these flies. It's a little bit aggressive. It's all right though. So you can see the fly is going to ride upside down, but I'm putting these guys in on the bottom half. There we go. Man, I'm learning. That must have been like the freshest of the Apple iPad updates right there. Daniel, did you not like all those other Huyas that I let come on the live stream? Some of them were pretty cool, I thought. Or no, that would be the Yahoos. So this is a cool little dubbing blend that I've twisted up here, and I'm making this in my create your own dubbing blender. If anybody from Hairline's watching, I'm sorry I've lost the little pick yet once again. I seem to lose that every time. Okay, so this is like an olive brown dubbing, and I've mixed in some like icewing fiber and copper and purple and red. So it makes a puts, I don't know who that is, but consider it done. I am really not a sports fanatic, I guess you would say. So I'm going to loosely dub this. It's kind of a longer blend, but it's going to kind of play into what we're doing here with the fly. You'll see. Whoever Julio Jones is, we're going to get him, I swear. Apparently you want him to jump or run because you're asking me to put lead somewhere on his body. So I'm going to use my dubbing brush, and this is going to kind of create this cool like mohair effect. And I just this is from the Create Your Own Dubbing kit as well. So it's going to pull back and create this really cool looking, almost mohair style Canadian leech. He's the Atlanta Falcons wide receiver. The dubbing is great. Daniel over on live stream says there's not a lot of demand for squid patterns in Tahoe. Oh, come on, man. Who knows what's in Tahoe? It's so deep and unexplored. So I'm going to use some more of this dubbing and kind of create just a little bit of a step up for a collar. Leonardo, what's up, man? Hi from Chile. I love it. I can dub it pretty loose and wrap back through using the white Vivus. It kind of hides everything. So my application for flies like this, and there's a reason why I'm not using the pin system. So I believe heavily in versatility. So if you notice, I have a normal eye up here. So if you wanted to strip this as a normal, like a woolly bugger style fly, something like that, you'd be able to do that. If you want to flip it upside down and put it in this way, it becomes a jig style fly. And so I'll have this fly down below, and then another fly up top, like off of a triple surgeons, almost like a Christmas tree, since it's near the holidays. We'll make that reference. And that way you're just creating some versatility within your own patterns. Now I'm going to put in some more of this barred wood micro barred, sorry, marabou here, just for a really kind of a cool profile. So it's almost bringing some like competition style nymph tactics to like your Stillwater game. So if you're fishing, you know, and you can tie this in any colorway. This one just happened to be one that I really thought was kind of cool. I'm going to put a bunch of dubbing in here, and it's really loosely dubbed, and that's okay. And I think that says, which rivers do I fish this in? So Squiddy. What's up, Scooby? You know, I would fish this in a lot of rivers. Pretty much any river. I would tie it maybe in a more of an olivey pattern, but this kind of earth tone, anything that looks kind of sculpin-esque. And I'm just going to get in here with this brush now. I think people are really dainty with their flies, so you need to tie ones that hold up to metal brush attacks. So yeah, I think this would look like a sculpin. What's up from the Driftless? How's it going? Have I ever fished Pyramid Lake in Nevada? No, I haven't fished Pyramid. I understand all the concepts that go on at Pyramid, but I've caught Lohattons in the high country, and I just haven't gone out to Pyramid to fish for them. But I know a lot of people that do. They fish, you know, balanced leeches and a number of other, you know, big midge patterns. So this could be, you know, if you tied this in, say, like a Tui Chub style pattern on a windy day out there, and you're dropping it under an indicator with a few of those big size, like 6 and 8 midges that you guys fish. He just fixed his hat again. Upper O. Awesome. Welcome from BFE, Missouri. So there we go. So you can see it's a pretty dope bugger just on its own. It's real light, it's airy, it's going to be easy to cast. You can yeah, it could be a leech pattern, browns, olives, blacks, whatever you guys want to do with it. But also it kind of has this little added bonus features. Cape Cod, awesome. I think the Cheech Leech is pretty dope. I've fished it and I've caught fish on it, so it's passed the test of that. Eastern Ontario, Dawson, what's up, man? Yeah, so I just kind of swish this in a bunch of different styles and patterns and colorways, and go from there. You can see actually like the little jig portion kind of hides in there pretty well. Maybe somebody will come out with something. BC, what's up, man? Okay. So this isn't going to be a small European. No, I used UV resin. I use Flow as my head cement. I don't. I'm highly ADD, so I have a little bit of difficulty waiting for evaporative products at times. Although they work great, I just use UV resin. So let's see if we can get in a little tighter on this. This is no slouch as far as bugs go. This is that Perdigon, whatever people call this thing. It's a thread pattern. You know, guys are using quills. They were originally tied, you know, on straight-eyed hooks, and I'm a firm believer. Jeremy missed the first half. No, that was this guy. And now we're going to go onto the next adventure. Make a I can't speak this evening, I apologize. A freestyle stone pattern off the top of my head. Yeah, okay. We can do it. We'll do that last, because these are quick flies. I will humor you with said request. And let me guess, I have to only use the materials on my bench. Luckily I have these things. Yeah, we'll do that. Second that freehand. PA, what's up, man? Okay, so this is like a competition nymph, and I make, aside from making a joke about competition hooks and stuff like that, they are incredibly effective. So if you notice, this hook it's a beast. It's one of the only ones that I've ever seen in a size 8. It's a Firehole 516, and I've seen this thing stand up to 30-inch fish. So it's a good hook. It's a good theory. It is barbless, which makes it more of a competitive hook. If you guys are on fly tying with Uncle Cheech, there's the talk about that. But they're really quick to tie. They're super effective. They get down quickly. They're it's a suggestive pattern that invokes curiosity from the fish. Craig asked if I remember to take the plastic wrap off my battery. Yeah, it's sitting somewhere up here, buddy. I promise. So yeah, this one happens to be styled after a golden stone, which is funny. Fly Machine 775 asks a good question. It's far from what happened. Hey, you know what? There's tons of midge hatches going on. So I carry anything from a size like 8 to 10 all the way up to a size 20. And if I was to carry only one dry fly, it would be Mercer's Missing Link, because the man is a wizard. And that fly works for caddis, it works for mayflies, it works for just everything. During an episode of Fee, it gets no love. Hey, I just tied a stillwater bug. This is a stillwater pattern. I know. Stillwater doesn't get any love, or as much love, I should say, as it should. But it's where a lot of slabs are. A lot of slabs are hanging out in the Stillwater, because nobody's fishing there. So this bead is, I think it's a 3/16 hairline plummeting tungsten slotted bead. Oh. Well, don't worry, Gregory. It'll be, Frank says, awesome hooks. It's up for the next 24 hours, and then it'll be also archived on YouTube with a different camera angle. So it'll look like a whole new lesson. And I'll also be tying right-handed on that. Okay. Vivas 50D thread base. If you guys haven't figured it out, I only tie with Vivas 50D. Yeah, no, this is a good one. This is a good European nymph. If you guys want to do tags on Euro nymphs, I strongly, recommend using something like Glow Bright floss. It's a really good material, and a few of the other materials they'll make cameos in here are pretty important as well. Vivas Body Quill is ultimately amazing. Just throw that out there. But I'm going to use an iris thread. Kind of been digging on this iris. This is my favorite Steely Dan fly. It's whatever I come up with, like, kind of. So my steelhead fishing is really interesting. I have patterns that I'll tie, or I used to tie, like, commercially. And nowadays it's whatever I feel like that the few days before. It's like a feeling. Perch don't work. Yeah, they're horrible. Don't fish them. So I gotta find a good guy in here. So a secret for these, and this is, I don't know, this isn't anything I can prove, is I'm using a teal flank feather. This is dyed wood duck gold. Okay. I tie it in long. The reason being is I think the back of that makes a longer, I think of it kind of as like a little rudder, if you will. It's a little long. Good question. Carl asked the purpose of the second eye. And when I zoom out, I'll explain that more, like with like hand motions, because I'm a hand talker. But it's to put it at the bottom of like a multi-fly rig, and be able to either to have the option of being able to strip it, or have it sitting directly below, like an indicator in a lake situation. Yeah, that's some people's opinions. I know there's, you know, high sticking and dry fly guys. I just like people fishing, man. I don't care. I'm not going to harsh on anybody for how they get out there and enjoy the outdoors. One of my favorite steelheading partners swings spoons on a gear rod while I swing flies. He still steps down and quarters the river the same way I do. His toy's just made of metal and more flashy. But he's one hell of a cool guy, so we let him hang out. Okay, so the second material I just tagged in there, this is a brown body quill. Carl, I hope that answers your question just a bit there. So I'm going to take this. Oops, I didn't want that to drop off the back there. We can go counterclockwise. Piss everybody off. Doesn't matter to me. Counter rivet. So all I'm doing here is I'm just creating a taper with this iris thread. It has a built-in twist of mylar. It's not swinging a bobber. That's true. I'd pay good money to see him swing a bobber. Sounds like some crooked river techniques. So I'm just going to build up a pretty cool little taper. I don't want to be overzealous with the body size here. Forrest, what's up, man? Adulting. Yeah, I know how that is. Is the Vivus considered GSP? No. Vivus GSP is considered GSP, and I hope that answers your question. They make a multitude of threads, and the one that I personally love is just a 50 denier GSP. What's this? Burnt sienna. I like this color, maybe. Yeah. So this brown, I want a little bit more contrast out of this fly rib. Is the power thread as strong as GSP? Or no, I've never used power thread. No. I use GSP only. I have about 40 tubs of this sitting, or spools, sitting around the office. So you can see I'm just going to go ahead and create really slight little fun body segmentations here. And I had 2 strands and I twisted them into one to further kind of build this up And then I'll go a little heavy up front here, because that's where we kind of pseudo have like a wing case. You're not Matt. Yes, I am. I am one with the Force. I swear I am Matt. Poor man's rib. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's synthetic. It doesn't grow on animals, and there's never a shortage of plastic synthetic fibers. So, and it's also far more economical. So for this guy, I feel like I want a little bit more depth of color out of this. So I'm going to darken up one side versus the other side. I'm going to leave it a little bit lighter, if that makes sense to everybody. That is a fly god. I doubt that. Good question, JC Flies. Good question. So I'm going to take our flow, and this is going to become kind of our protective layer over the top of this. And I just want to completely saturate all the way up onto the bead, and we'll gently rotate. So I'll go ahead and cure this while gently rotating. Yeah, it's a trout fly. I mean, you could throw it at gosh darn near anything that swims out there. So back up here, we're going to take some thin, and I'm going to use the thin to fill. There's a little void back here, so I kind of just fill that up first and foremost. It's a musky fly. Oh, sarcasm. I love it. That light's pretty bright. I won't lie to you. And this is just a copper, so I'm going to use this to darken up in here. And I'm going to do this in layers, so you'll see me do this a few times. Can I throw it at... Yeah, Nick, you can do whatever you want, buddy. If you want to throw this at whoever, I'll send it to you. It weighs about quite a bit, like 20 grams. I think a slingshot would be needed for more effect. So we're going to go ahead and cure the first layer of the wing case, and I'll come back in and I'm going to darken it again. So each time I'm just kind of coating the top of the wing case or the resin, just creating a bubble effect. And yes, I want it on the bottom, even though it rides upside down. Colored UV, possibly. Water-based pens? No, I think they're an alcohol-based pen. So, there you guys go. That's just, you know, you can come back in if you see a little bit of a rough spot, because guys get really particular about their European nymphs moving through the fast water. Everything in my world's metric. I design products in CAD systems. There's no such thing as inches and machining of things. So, yeah, there you guys go. Which vise am I using? Good question. Rich, how's it going, man? Good to see you too. This is a Regal Revolution with a stainless jaw. Yep, biggest Euro nymphs ever. Catches big fish only. So obviously this one's kind of a stonefly-esque colorway. But yeah, there you guys go. It's pretty heavy. Put it on my little fly holding device so I don't lose it. And now I have a challenge. Interesting. Alright, okay. I'm supposed to tie a golden stonefly, so I can't probably leave the desk area, huh? That would probably make it more fun. Just tie with what's available intruder fly. Uh-oh. Big fish only. You think I need to zoom out a bit? For what? I like the zoom. Maze fly. Wait till the next one goes in here. It's a big hook. I'm gonna zoom out just a hair on the opposite side though. We'll get recentered. Oh gosh, sorry guys. Hopefully none of you get motion sickness. It's not a smooth okay. Custom bent. Tie it left-handed. Negative. We're not tying left-handed. So people wanted a golden stone pattern. Here we go. Saltwater stonefly. Okay. Let's see, what kind of cool color. Man, it's a good thing I'm messy. So I've got more than enough cool stuff stuck on my vise to tie a fly. Colors may not all match up, but I'm only tying, just so you guys know, with what I have sitting here at the Loon Live table, which is not my tying bench. It is a separate entity in its own. And somebody challenged me to tie a stonefly, what was it, like a la carte, like just do it. So I'm going to tie in our antenna first. Yeah, Nick, if you're moving out west, you're going to need to totally learn about trouts. Just kidding, buddy. Did I keep the clouser that I gave you? Yes, I have the clouser. It's on my board of flies people have tied that are not mine. I have a board, like a cork board in my office, and it's just filled with flies other than mine. What's a trout? It's a good question. I'm going to take, my goal for next year is to take 239 flies trout fishing, or spay casting would be more fun, and try to get them a steelhead. I think that would be some of the most fun ever. Man, I think you need to move to Palm Springs. There's musty old people smell there too. Just kidding. Is Loon hiring? Not that I know of. I haven't got any notices that my job is in jeopardy. But when it does, I'll let you know, Forrest. So these are just some buyouts lying around. What am I using for my antennas? It is Super Floss or Sexy Floss or Flossy Floss, or it's one of the flosses. And unfortunately, because this was like a challenge, none of the legs are going to match, which will make it even cooler. What are we tying? We are tying a challenge. This is a golden stonefly challenge, but I can only use what's randomly on the Loon Live table. So, I mean, it's kind of this stuff. There's some purple flat braid, some marabou, purple flat braid, a couple beads, not a lot of stuff here. The East Coast, no. I have not fished on the East Coast. Okay, so I did find buyouts, so we're going to do a buyout body. Yeah, 239 Flies was supposed to, you know, take me fishing and show me around, and he just kind of disappeared on me, left me hanging. Just kidding, buddy. Yeah, Nick and I are not allowed to tie flies together. We just, we don't win iron fly when we're tying together, apparently. But they're going to have to separate us next year. Need to pay attention here for a second. Yeah, we got our butts kicked by a lady, dude. It's kind of rough. I have that monkey up on the wall just as a memory of getting our butts kicked in Florida. No, I haven't. Why am I still in caps? You had too much pre-workout and you're fired up. So this is just another buyout here. Okay. So flow for the body, and we're going to be pretty liberal with the flow. Want that? There we go. Nick and I are major nerds, absolutely. My profession is to be nerdy as possible. So this is our same little dubbing blend from our woolly bugger, because I have no other dubbing to use. Luckily it's kind of golden stone-esh. Yeah, there's a Bigfoot back there if you guys haven't ever seen it. Love Bigfoot. He's the best. Super floss for our rear leg. Different colored super floss, mind you. Because I had like 4 strands. If you have issues with dubbing on GSP, get some wax. That's going to increase your performance for dubbing. So we're going to find some teal feathers here. So we had teal from earlier. And I'll show you guys a cool trick. I'm going to zoom out just a hair so everybody can see this trick easier. Yep. A bottle of flow. Trick can happen. Now I need a plastic bag. Okay. Dude, I bet you a bonefish would eat it too. I tie some goofy stuff for bonefish and send it to like places with friends, and they're like, they always come back and they're like, that fly worked great. So I'm fairly convinced that bonefish are like the panfish of the ocean, but maybe not. So I'm going to turn this into rubber with if you guys can see what I'm doing here, I'm coating this with UV flow. And I'll cure this with a light. And now we get this cool little feather here. And I'm going to lop it. We're going to add some more dubbing first. Yeah, or the ones in like Mosquito Lagoon. Those I've heard are rather crafty. This is a really long dubbing blend for what I'm doing, but we'll work with it. So I'm going to turn this little feather into a little stone wing case here. So this is just that feather that I started out with. And we'll teach it a little bit of a lesson here, watch. A little bit of flow underneath. Press it into place. Oh, that didn't work. It doesn't go through there. It's alright. We'll fix. Well, it might not be the prettiest wing case I've ever done. So we're going to repeat this little feather trick here. We'll lab hair. I don't know. I have a black lab. I don't let her in here. She's kind of birdy, so she tends to want to eat things that I have in my office. So we'll do, once again, coat this little feather with UV flow. Let's see what we can do here. I'm going to try to push. Man, I wish that was an empty bag. I'm going to try to push this feather into a tighter pathway. That makes sense. Like narrow up the actual feather before I cure it. So it'll get nice and dark and overlappy. Then we'll cure it up really quick. Okay. This will become our next wing case here in a moment. Okay, we're going to put 2 more legs in, and then we're going to escape. Well, I am. But since you guys challenged me to tie a golden stone, I will oblige you. With our third color of Super Floss for legs, I think this variation is going to really drive them wild. If not, yeah. Maybe if I clean up a bit. Oh, clean my office? Yeah, that's a lost cause. It's like worse than you'd probably ever suspect. Like I said, I'm very ADD, so I go through stages of what I want to tie or be tying and just make a hot mess. Okay, so I'm just trimming this little feather into kind of a wing case. It's not perfect, but it'll work. Not in love with it. Whatever. It's what I had on the desk. So, take care, brother. See you soon, Nick. So I'll now coat this with some thin. What's up, Lucas? How's it going, man? And I'll hit that with, might want to plug in my PC. I just had 100%. T. Landry, what's up, bud? And I'll go ahead and put a little bit down in here just to separate it. And a little more dubbing. This should work. I don't know. I think this is pretty fishy for random scraps off the fly tying bench. I don't think anybody can hate on this too badly. Put a nice flashy collar in there. And then we'll wrap her up. Call it good. Dropping the vise to watch. Right on, right on. Greg, what's up, man? Howdy, howdy. Okay. So we'll just give it a quick trim of the legs. Man, I don't know. I'd fish this in the springtime. Cut another little V in there. It's not too bad for a little stonefly with what was sitting around on the tying bench. Looks good for a challenge. Only the lower suck trout will eat that. I'm going to zoom out because I haven't shaved. That'd be horrible. Alright. So. Catch the stalkers. Yeah, I don't think a wild trout would eat it. They're too smart. So that's about. Squeak is strong. Yeah. Can't leave well enough alone. I have to add things to the fly. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you. I can't just leave this alone. I gotta make a mess of myself. So anyways, we'll catch you guys back here in a few weeks. And thanks, Bob. And yeah, we'll maybe do another weird off the bench scrap challenge. There you go. Anyways, appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll see you guys in a few weeks. Do I use the fluorescing? Yes. Whoa, gnarly. I use the fluorescing. That's what I use for the wing cases, actually. So that's why they're glowing so brightly. But alrighty, guys. An impromptu. I'll try. Alright, guys, we'll check you next time. Take care.